Train the muscles, not the joints. So today a comment was made in the YouTube comment section, so there seems to be never an end to these dumb comments, so I'm going to address another dumb comment today.
Stupid Comments Saturday.
And maybe this person is special enough that they can stop projecting what they think I am saying over top of what I'm saying and actually just see what I'm saying and understand that they might have some hate for some other people or something like that, but that doesn't mean I'm those guys that they hate. You know what I'm saying? So, you know how some people, they have a bad experience in life, they deal with some jerks and then they think everybody's a jerk after? Well, this is kind of the challenge of YouTube. It seems like there's maybe less racism going on in the world in some way, but there's another type of judgment that's happening that is not necessarily true. So the bottom line is that this person said that what I'm saying about training is up for debate. And really what I'm always saying to you guys is do what works. Do what works for you. I'm not saying that my technique as far as constant tension or the type of rep range that I'm using and stuff like that is absolutely correct for everyone. I'm saying try things. The truth is I don't really have a technique. I don't have a technique. That's why I made this video on ego, on how ego can actually cause you problems if you have too much ego in your training. Some people think I have a technique because, Jason, you train this certain way, so that must be your technique you're trying to get everybody else to do. But I'm not getting anybody else to do my technique. I'm saying you can try it and see if it works for you. But the truth is my only technique is awareness. Be aware. Really look. Really ask yourself, what is the truth for you in your training? Don't just do things because everybody tells you to do them. You can try those things, but then find out, is it really true for you? Is that technique or is that exercise or workout program actually producing results for you? Now, another stupid comment that this person made was that the fact that something works better is just a subjective opinion. Now, if somebody is in some sort of level of ignorance, okay, if they're in some sort of level of delusion, yeah, maybe there can be some subjective thing going on there where they're misinterpreting the results. But when you can actually measure the results, so for instance, say your goal is to put on muscle mass, and with one technique you put on 1 pound of muscle mass, and then the other technique you put on 10 pounds of muscle mass, there's no subjectivity in there. This is obviously better, right? So then you would say, okay, what diet and what exercise and what workout program did I do in order to achieve this as opposed to this? And then this would automatically be better, right? So the funny thing I've experienced online is that I noticed through applying multiple techniques what worked better for me. So say, for instance, my 90-degree squats, people come in and say, oh, you're just ego lifting. You're just lifting that just to prove that you're so strong or some bullshit like that or whatever because you're insecure about yourself. Or, you know, they try to project whatever they have going on with themselves onto me. But what they don't understand is that I did the full range squats. I did ass to the grass. I did all these things and I noticed a few different things. One was when I was doing ass to the grass squats, my legs got smaller, okay? My knees started to hurt and my speed went down when I was playing hockey. So 3 things happened, and there are some studies to actually support this stuff that happened. There is a study out there that somebody recently actually just posted below my video, and they said basically partial ranges within the ideal torque curve of a muscle will actually produce more muscular gains, okay? So anyway, the bottom line is there is some science to support what I found to be true. So the ass to the grass squat did not work, hurt my knees, and was a problem for me. Now, this might be different for somebody else because it's all about the individuality. That's what I'm here to celebrate, okay? Now, when I did the partial range squat, or the 90-degree squat, I found my knees don't hurt, I found my legs grow, and my strength goes up in everything. It seems to have an overall anabolic effect on my body, and I put on more muscle. Measurable, like you can actually measure when there's a ½ an inch extra around my legs as opposed to the other way, you know that that way is a better result. It's very objective, it's measurable, you can actually measure the result. So the thing is that I'm not doing stuff in my training because of ego. I'm doing stuff in my training because it works better for me, and I have conducted the experiments of doing one way, then another way, then this way, and this is where I've landed. And I continually retest my theories. Sometimes I'll go back into this other extreme range of motion thing for a period of time to see, okay, what's different here? What am I experiencing differently? And I constantly discover the exact same thing that I discovered in the beginning, that the range that is ideal for me is the range that I'm doing, and a constant tension that's also ideal for me. So this is going to be different for you, and I'm okay with that, but this has nothing to do with ego. I just want to be straight about that. Now, another stupid comment that was made, because there's just an abundance of stupid comments from this person. All right, so I know you don't want to recognize the stupidity of your comments, but I'm going to point it out. All right, that's my job. So you just said that basically the reason why I train with the ranges of motion that I train in, and I do what I do, is because I'm older and I'm trying to justify my aging process, and the reason why I have to train in these dysfunctional ways is just because I'm older. Let me just say something to you. If this was true, then why, when I was doing certain lifts when I was 18 years old, when they were in extreme ranges of motion, that I found that they did not work to build muscle and they injured me? When I was 18 years old, I figured this stuff out. And then 19 years old, then 20, then 21, because I would compare myself to other people that were doing different ranges, and then I would try to emulate them. And then when I was doing these different ranges for my body that weren't right for my body, I would end up getting injured, or it would sideline my progress. I would actually lose progress, or I would get injured. So in what way does this mean that I'm just doing this stuff because I'm aging? That doesn't make sense. So your logic doesn't make sense here, because the thing is, I discovered this stuff at an early age. When I was like 20 years old training, I discovered that there was an efficient torque curve in an exercise to hit the muscle I wanted to hit without destroying the joint. This happened right in the beginning stages of my training. So not everybody had this intelligence, which is one of the reasons why I think I dominated a lot of the natural bodybuilding contests. Now, there were some awesome other competitors out there as well, but I was one of the most dominant natural bodybuilding competitors. And this was why, because I was not afraid to do what worked for my body. And I'm just encouraging you to do the same. And this is what I want you to do. I want to make you into a thinker, into a person that's truly a scientist in your training. I'm not trying to say, hey, do everything my way. So anyway, so this person gets online and they say to me that I'm just making this shit up. I'm just making, train the muscles, not the joints up. I'm just making everything I'm saying up just to manipulate people and to get subscribers, right? The thing is, what happened to me when I jumped on YouTube, I thought, because this was before I'd ever had any experience on YouTube, I thought, hey, I've been on magazine covers, I've won national titles, I've got my pro card, maybe some people want to learn from me for free and get a few tips. Maybe they'd be happy about that. And of course, I discovered that a lot of people online aren't so happy about getting the free advice. They basically just want to get on there and troll you and hate you and stuff for whatever reason. Maybe they got dad issues or something. I have no idea what the hell's going on, but they just basically want to get on there and just beat on people, right? So the fact is that when I got online, I just trained the way I trained and showed people how I trained and how I produced results. I wasn't saying you have to do it my way, but I was saying this is what worked for me. You might get something from it. And of course, I was getting this overwhelming amount of hate because of it, because I didn't realize there was this massive religion and fanaticism around how to train, and that you must do things this way, you must do it that way. And there was no room for a person's individuality in all of that. And that was really the tragic part. Like, they were saying everybody must squat a certain way, everybody must deadlift on the floor, everybody must do this, even though the pros in any sort of sport were doing different things than what was actually prescribed for the general population in these websites and forums and stuff. So when I came on there and said this is what produced results, people were like, oh no, it didn't produce results. I'm like, yeah, it did. Look at my legs, look at my physique, look at what I accomplished in bodybuilding. Like, what do you mean it didn't produce a result? But because they were so blinded and so heavily invested in their opinion, they didn't want to see that there was a result. You see, so it's almost like people get blind. They don't want to see something because it doesn't support their fanatical religion about something. So really what I learned from that was that, hey, wait a second, there is an individuality. I'm seeing a lot of other people, even more than even before, that have different things that are working for them. And I'm noticing that the big problem in this society right now, especially with the bodybuilding society, is that people aren't allowed to find their own individual movement patterns. They're not allowed to find their own individual groove, their individual workout program, all this kind of stuff. They're not able to explore because there's this mass pressure from this society of supposed experts that are telling you have to do it only one way. And like I said, and you guys all know, that's one of the reasons why my channel is doing okay is at this point, it's only because I've been empowering people to find their way, and it's actually working. See, if it wasn't working, people wouldn't be embracing what I'm saying. But the reason why some people are embracing what I'm saying is that it's actually working working. Many people are giving me testimonials all the time about what is happening in their training and how they're producing results. So the thing is that this is what I'm here to do, is help you get results and to help you not break yourself in the process. But a lot of times the people that are following the religion or the fanaticism of the internet, they're basically actually getting injured from it. They're actually hurting themselves. There's many people that have emailed me and actually quit training. They actually quit training for several years because they were so frustrated because they were doing things supposedly right, but then they were getting nothing but knee pain, elbow pain, shoulder pain, back pain, and they were not getting any results. So this is the thing. There is a false teaching that is going on right now in the internet. This one-size-fit-all mentality when it comes to training and comes to exercises doesn't work. There is the individual variable in this. And all I'm teaching is for you to be aware and to find out what that is, and I'm encouraging you to conduct that experiment. I'm not telling you that my way is the only way as far as how I train my body, right? If I trained you, funny enough, it would probably look different than the way I train my body. That's the funny thing. Like, people think that the way I squat or bench and stuff, that when I teach somebody, I teach them the exact way. No, I wouldn't. I'd find out through conversation with you and through what's happening in your experience exactly how to cater your exercise to you. I'd be finding out your individual way of doing it. So this is the thing. I don't have a technique. So is my technique right? Yes, my technique is right. You know why? Because my technique is whatever technique works for you. That's what my technique is. And that's all I got to say about that. Let's go shopping. I got to get some food. So I'm going to take you over to Legacy Products here. I'm just going to get something to, I just got to get a couple of things, some sardines and stuff. And actually, I'll show you, maybe they have cod livers in. I have cod livers once in a while. I know that sounds disgusting, but it actually tastes pretty good. Lots of good cod liver oil in there, good essential fats and stuff. So yeah, once in a while I'll have some of those. So okay, let's go over there. Let's go for a walk, man. Ah, it's cold. Whoa. Okay. Okay, yeah, so I got some sardines here. A little bit of milk and yeah, anyway, sometimes I eat some sardines or have cod livers, but they didn't have any cod livers in the store, and I couldn't actually film in the store because they didn't want me to film, so I don't see what the big deal is. But hey, some people, you know, they get their knickers in a knot just about simple little things, right? So yeah, people, man. I guess what I'm trying to say is that you can learn how to play a musical instrument. You may know how to play a few notes in progression in some way or whatever, and you may have memorized some of your favorite songs, but you'll never make a symphony by playing a song. It might help you. A template like a song can help you learn how to play, but at some point you need to be able to use those notes in order to create your own symphony, and that's really what's going on inside the body and inside your own discovery of what really works for you. So I'm not saying that the opposite thing is going to work for you compared to the rest of the human race, but what I'm saying is it's going to be slightly different. There's going to be some variables in there that will really work, and if you have the courage to follow through and to conduct your own experiment, it can pay off big dividends. Small little excursion here, so I'm going to go to Hemlock Mountain Coffee here and get an espresso. Best coffee in Agassiz for sure, 100%. Best coffee in actually Harrison and Agassiz, I have to say. I'm not afraid to say that, although some people at the other coffee shop might be mad at me for saying it. Thank God Halloween's over. There it goes. Sorry I had to leave. Those dolls were scaring the crap out of me. But I survived and got the good mocha, so yeah, like I said, the espresso there is really good. Guys, if you're in Agassiz, I know most of you guys aren't here. You're like somewhere in Denmark or something. But if you ever come to Agassiz, definitely try Hemlock Coffee. It's the best espresso. I don't know what the other coffee shops aren't doing that they're doing, but there's something they're doing to the coffee that's much better. So I hope this video helps you out a little bit and helps you understand that I'm not teaching you any one particular technique. I'm telling you to try your techniques, try different techniques and see which one works for you. I always say this, I'm like a freaking parrot. Try your own techniques, fuck! Thanks a lot for watching and take care for now. And thanks a lot to these Patreon subscribers because they're really helping me out. And if you need to get a hold of me, just go to naturalgallantbodybuilding.com.